Hello. Not quite sure where to start. Well, I'll start with the poor light. There we go, that's a bit better. I'm at the boat and it's going to be a while before I sort out electric, so it's going to be the Blair Witch season in terms of how the videos look. But I'm a little bit calmer on this one. I never watched the Blair Witch. I don't like scary movies. As much as my life is one big scary movie, not the comedy scary movie, but literal horror movie. But no, I'm gonna be all over the place finding the correct tone, because things are quite just all over the place, simplistically. And I'm using this to find some centre. Well, I'm not using it for that purpose, but since I'm making a live stream, that's what is inevitable to happen. Weird thing happened. I've been real hard place past week or so. Life has come down on me really hard in ways that are breaking my ability to really comprehend existence. But it's been slow enough, and it does challenge me each time. So in other words, each time I get challenged in this way, it's a real challenge. I really get stretched. But because I've been stretched time after time after time, I'm somehow able to comprehend an inexplicably cruel and surreal world. Well, no, it's not world, reality. Let's keep it at that. So I've been in terror, literally. My body's been paralysed in terror for the last couple of days, and I'm still in that place on a bodily level. But I made a live stream this morning after trying to just take stock of the situation, and I put together a plan of action that was half-baked, if I'm honest. But it was the only thing that I can really summon that would stop me from going further down that spiral. And I went about my day, got started with what I came up with, and it wasn't really working, but that wasn't the point. I was just taking my time. So it still might come to come good, that pursuit. Fingers crossed. But as I started, it was like I was just suffering with my ears. It was like my ears have only been the last few years I've really noticed them as a problem in terms of autism. But then again, always I've never really been conscious about life up until the recent few years. So in other words, before that, I would have always filled the void. So in that moment when I'm experiencing a problem with noise, filled it with something else. Anger, emotion, reason. That's what would have been able to see the picture. And I'm in touch with my body. Sorry, if ever I wasn't in touch with my body, it's now. But I'm aware of my body and my senses a lot more. And in that moment I was aware it was my ears really troubling me. So I think I got my phone thinking, what can I put on? What news? What audio book? What music? And nothing would really was suitable for what I was experiencing. And I persisted anyway with trying to make that action plan miracle come good. And I've been getting like spiritual downloads about everything, all of time, the universe, everything that you might be able to imagine about spirituality now for a couple of years. And it's like savant-like, almost. It's like the most beautiful picture about everything, the theory of everything, you know. It's like I've downloaded what's his name? He was paralyzed in a wheelchair, wasn't able to speak and use the computer. Anyway, I'll probably come to him in a minute, but the spiritual version, he was science. I've downloaded the spiritual version. It's absolutely beautiful, but where I know my life, I mean, I'm speaking to you quite calmly at the moment, but it's not where I am. I am in terror. I'm in terror. If I had the choice to conserve energy and everything else, I wouldn't speak a word. I'd be mute for the rest of my life, in honesty. I'd probably communicate via written word. This is the effects of my mental health and any positive spiritual input. Well, I say positive, but input on a spiritual level, good or bad, that you hear me speak still. So I didn't want to think, I didn't want to do anything, I just wanted, I couldn't. My senses were overloaded with mixed emotions, terror and everything else, confusion. And then a thought came into my head. And it was on the topic of me being in a coma. Now, being in a coma, I say I'm in a coma, but it could be a near-death experience. But ultimately, it's a very real scenario for me. It's the one thing that trumps everything else in terms of making space for, and that can come at any time, and it deserves energy. And ironically, it tends to come when I'm in the most deepest, darkest places. Imagine being happy and then realizing you're dead and trying to comprehend that on when you're I don't know what's nice in this world. Yeah, it's been so long. But anyway, when you're doing something nice in life, it's not quite the appropriate space. So this is appropriate, in other words, for setting the scene for me to really think about being in a coma. So I started thinking about it and things started clicking. My cousin Alex, for instance, how his energy is appropriate to the story of the past maybe 15 years of my life. In the context of a coma. And then I got thinking and thinking, and for the first time for the first time. So I've tried to think, right, well, when did I enter this coma? When did I enter this near-death experience? And I've thought, oh, it could have been this time, it could have been that time, it could have been the other time. Countless of times I've lost count. But they're all there in the background, back of my mind as possibilities. And today was the first time they started to link up and point to a specific time. But the thing is, I started thinking more and more, and it started taking me. That point, ironically, the furthest I've been able to realistically take my coma back to is around the age of 18 or 19, with not certainty but probability. So before today, it was like probable that when I wake up from this, or die from this, in reality, the probability was that I would have been 18 or 19 when this, the oldest, when this took place. But due to me being pointed to this one occurrence that took place when I was about 19 or 20, other things started to link in, and I realised that I'm actually likely to be in the region of about 4 to 7 when the coma took place. I don't know, but that's like what everything is pointing to, and things have been linking up today with me being in a coma. Now, if you imagine you're in a coma, reality and everything you experience in that reality is to do with you. You're the center of the universe. So I started to read into my life, and that is what took me back to the age of 4 to 7. And that's where I'm at now. There's nothing really much more to say in the present moment. And that's why I asked, could it be true? Who knows? For me, it's the most probable cause and probable explanation for everything I've experienced in my life. But, you know, I have an overactive mind, I have a mental health disorder. No need to prove it to anybody, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not getting over excited that, oh, I might be waking up soon, because I could be here a long time. Something my uncle said to me once sticks to mind in relationship to me believing I'm in a coma. he said, how can you awaken? How could I awaken? I can't remember what definition, what term it was put to me in, but it was along the lines of, how can you awaken when the whole world isn't awake? So in other words, I might need to heal the entire world in this dream state I'm in, before I'm allowed to wake up in the real world. So I might be here a while. Oh, and I'll leave it. Something that came to mind just as a little while ago is I bought a camera last year, a really interesting camera. It's not a standard, well, you point and shoot. It looks like a normal camera. It has this weird effect that allows you to see like a moving image from. It's a bit like bullet time. You know bullet time from the Matrix. You take a picture of something, and after you take the picture on a computer or a display, I don't know the technology. Well, I know the technology, what it's called, but special displays can show it. But on a computer, it will show you the picture, and you from all different angles and see a different perspective. It's really, really cool. And I've been using it over the past few weeks here and there for the first time. And a thought popped into my head of a dream I had. Well, it was a dream, but it was a really weird occurrence. I must have been about, again, around the age of 20, and it was a weird dream. It was like almost in black and white as I remember it. And I know I was in a camera shop. I can't remember what it looked like, but I know I was in a camera shop, and I've never really been into cameras. I was in this camera shop, and I saw a flash of light, and I thought nothing. Well, I did think something of it, 'cause it's like everything flashed. This is as I remember it. It could be slightly the actual details could there and thereabouts basically, but ultimately I saw a flash of light. Yeah, I'm in a camera shop, it makes sense. And so I think the dream continued for a few more seconds, and I saw another flash of light, and I woke up and I realised it was a thunderstorm, a lightning storm, and it was actually lightning penetrated through the window and through my closed eyes into my mind and into the dream. But it correlated. Really, really weird. And it just, the memory of that came back to me as I've been exploring my life in relationship to me being in a coma. Who knows? In honesty, it doesn't really matter because of the present moment is so painful. The terror is still here, the terror is still present. But it's made me remember that things are more serious than ever. That I realise what's going on, what I believe I realise what's going on. And I don't have anything else to wake up for each day anymore. Things are so bad, and I know if I'm not active, they're likely to get worse. So I'm going to I'm gonna try to remember tomorrow morning when I wake up and things are bad again, the seriousness that I find myself in, of my own circumstance in relationship to me being in a coma, and use that as the reason to get up each day and continue. Why'd you get out of bed in the morning? Why'd you do what you do each day? Are you in a coma as well? Or are you alive? Are you alive to life? And the people that surround you, the planet that feeds you, clothes you, gives you a home, gives you experience. Till the next live stream.